nako, record sa nako. This session is being recorded. Na. So, yung RA 6425 nung panahon ni Ferdinand Marcos, by 1980s and 90s, nagiging obsolete na yung batas. And again, kagaya ng characteristics ng ating batas, di ba? GTP, generality, territoriality, and prospectivity. Our law, or dapat ang mga batas, mga balaod, must be prospective in nature. Not lagging but prospective. Kumbaga, constantly improving. That's why may term na repealing and amending in order to match to the current needs ng ating bansa and of course, as of 21st century, globalization. That's why binabago ang batas, minumodify or pinapalitan. When we say modifying a law, that is amending. Modifying lang, hindi mo tinatanggal yung batas. Kasi pag tinanggal mo yung batas, palitan mo ng bago, that is repealing. That is what happened to RA 6425, yung old na Dangerous Drugs Act. Ginawang comprehensive, pinalitan ng buo yung Republic Act number 9165. Sa babaan yan sa batas, if you can research on the internet, yung papel mismo ng pagpirma ng batas, sa pinakababa niyan, one of the last sections niyan is yung repealing or amending clause. Nasa lahat ng special laws yan. The repealing and amending clause distinguishes if that law is new, hindi pwede repeal, hindi ma-amend, repealed or amended a previous law. That's what happened to RA 6425. It was repealed. Binago ng buo ng Republic Act number 9165. Okay? July 4, 2002 yan ha, na enact ni Presidente Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Okay, na nag-chat sa ako adere, asa na to imong posta sa Houston. Anyway, kabayad gihapon ta na. So, sa Republic Act 9165, there are certain new penalties, new terminologies. And of course, created an agency which is dedicated to stopping, combating illegal drugs, and giving information to the people about those illegal drugs, substances, pati CPEX. So, first is, let's distinguish vice. When we say vice, hindi yan yung vice city or vice ganda. It's defined as any immoral act or habit that indulge or the indulgence of which leads to depravity, wickedness, or corruption. Na vice or bisyo, mao na. Always immoral and always done habitually. Okay? Next is drugs. Of course, drugs are substances or chemicals. But general term, as a medicine or in making medicines which affects the body and the mind and has a potential for abuse according sa libro ni Romel Manwong. Drug education is defined as the learning process that influences an individual emotionally, intellectually, psychologically, and socially. Yan. Which may result in modification of attitudes or changes in behavior. Okay? Let's skip to those terms. Let's go to the history. Okay? History of drug abuse started nung Stone Age or Stone Ages that was in Egypt nung 3,500 BC. Na, di ba na 3,500 before Kibuloy ha? Na, si. So, the Egyptians during those times were using what we call opium. Ginagamit nila ang opium, the opium poppy, sa mga religious ceremonies, mga rituals nila. Then, as the years go by, 1600 or 1600 BC, baliktad man ng pag-ihapan sa counting, Egyptians listed opium as a medicine na tinawag na analgesic or commonly a painkiller. Na ang mga tribo sa South America like the Incas tribe were known to have used cocaine around 5,000 years ago together with cannabis with a scientific name of cannabis sativa lima, the hemp plant na kung asa na derive ang marijuana o hashish. Okay? So, let's go on sa 20th century, start ng World War I. Nagkaroon ng gera. Started in Austria, France, US, Germany. So, maraming casualty na sundalo. How would they lessen the pain for those casualties? So, they created a liquefied drug or medicine which would be used as a painkiller. That was morphine, derivative from opium. A derivative from opium, mas modern derivative. Pero it became well abused by those soldiers even after serving sa military noong World War I at World War II. To the point na tinawag ang addiction ng morphine as the soldier's disease. Also, dahil naging addicted ng mga sundalo sa morphine, ang mga drug manufacturers, they were formulating a drug that would cure the addiction of morphine. Dahil sikat na masyado ang paggamit ng morphine around the world. Yan. So, in 1898, yung kumpanyang Bayer, that's a German drug and fertilizer company, introduced a new opiate. Derivative gyapon sa opium with the name heroin. Ang pagpamaligya nila ana was introduced as a non-addictive solution sa addiction sa morphine. Yan. So, yun. Inintroduce ang heroin. The thing is, naabuso pa rin. Yan. Akala niya non-addictive pero no. Then soon, they derive codeine and others pero naging abused pa rin. So, the start of the modern problem ng drugs. Again, one of the facts, yung cocaine, the coca plant, the coca leaf noong 1869 was mainly used for medicinal purposes, pang cure sa lung problems. Na naging popular. Then, of course, sa kanyang popularity, gi-appeal po na siya as ingredient sa mga gin, na tonic water, and even, yun, Coca-Cola. That's why Coca-Cola. It's like a coca plant na inumin, which became sweet. Pero tinigil na ang pagsama ng coca leaves or yung mga derivatives ng coca plant noong 1903. Okay? So, questions, mga kaibigan, questions. Wala pa? Like, pangutana? Wala'y pangutana? Bright ang mga bata, ay. Hapit ng exam. Dapat perfect na siguro lahat ang score niyan. Anyway, wala mo pangutana, mag-continue ko. Drug trafficking, let's go into the global scenario ngayon. Not really ngayon, pero from the 70s up to the present. Sa drug trafficking man god, karong 21st or 20 and 21st century, nagsimula magsikat, maging dominante yung tinatawag na mga drug syndicates. Sa mga South American countries, they are called drug cartels. Na sa Mexico, Colombia, Uruguay, Peru, Brazil, Argentina. Drug cartels. basically using advanced and sophisticated technology. One of those facts is tung sa una sa Colombia, ang tibuok simbahan or the Catholic Church sa Colombia, halos lahat ng mga simbahan may underground laboratory ng illegal drugs, especially cocaine, pati marijuana. Pati si Father appeal sa mga nasuhulan sa mga drug cartels, appeal sa mga supporters sa drug cartels. Because somehow, the people in South America considered them as yung mga modern na Robin Hood. Gabuhat o Road or sa ba na? Robin Padilla. Basta nga na, those who does bad things or illegal things with a noble or good reason. Yan yun. So here are the two main drug traffic routes which is centered sa Asian continent. First is Golden Triangle. Involves three countries, Burma or yung currently Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand. Those three countries are approximately having 60% production of opium which is dominant sa mundo. Yan sa kanila. Nawala na tong opium na addiction sa China sa una, transfer na sa ilahang production to those three countries. 60% of the production ng buong mundo galing sa kanila, 90% of those nasa Eastern Asia na part. Kanang sa mga China, Japan, South Korea, Philippines. Yan. Nadadamay tayo. Problema, konti lang ay gusto sa Pilipinas ng opium. It's too expensive but also hindi akma sa taste daw ng Pilipino. Golden Triangle, Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand. Sunod, Golden Crescent. Saan ang crescent? Kanang sa mga Muslim brothers nato, kanang moon, that is a crescent. Options? Anyway, so Golden Crescent, kung i-plot nimo ang location sa anang mga nasura, you would somehow create a crescent, murag moon na. So Golden Crescent involves four countries, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India. Unsay nasa Golden Crescent? It is the major supplier of the opium poppy or opium poppies na. Of course, pakapin sa opium ang heroin ug marijuana. Pansin niyo yung mga bansa na yan nasa Middle East. Guubot kay dira. So, that part of Western Asia produces 85 to 90% ng illegal heroin product sa buong mundo. Yan. So, yun ang mga major transshipment and production points sa Golden Crescent. Okay? So, sa Middle East, na Lebanon, na sa Bekaa Valley, which is a major and strategic area, not just sa drugs, pati sa gera, dira sa Lebanon, major or the biggest producer of cannabis sila sa Middle East. Na they are known to be the transit point sa cocaine from South America padulong sa Europe. Kung saan nila pagsulod sa Europe? The nearest country from Lebanon to Europe is Turkey. Yan ang boundary. Once makasulod sila, penetrate sa Turkey, makapenetrate sila either sa Balkans or the river ng Balkans or sa Mediterranean. Once makasulod na sila dira, they can penetrate wherever they want sa Europe. Next, na Spanya, sa Spain. Na it is known as a major transshipment point for international drug syndicates sa Europe. Nganuman, it is not because they have weak laws sa drugs, mga balaod na di man nga anak kahinay, pero sa sobrang dami ng drug users sa Spain, nako, almost uncontrollable. Yan. Okay, next, let's go to Latin America or South America, yung sinabi kong mga bansa kanina. Colombia, Peru, Uruguay, Panama, yan. Panama, the principal sources of cocaine supply padulong sa North America and to the rest of the world. Na-penetrate nila una ang United States, or I mean the Mexico. And of course, maraming Meksikano na pumupunta, nagko-cross ng border papunta sa US. So, once they cross to the United States, whether illegally or legally, yan, dinidistribute na rin nila with unique methods ang drugs papunta sa Amerika. So once makasulod na sila sa Amerika, they can spread anything or any of their products throughout the world. Na, nga na kagubot dito. You can research upon that si Manuel Noriega, former general ng Panama. He is a dictator who is reported ng US noon as not just a violent leader but also a drug player, a drug lord. So, ang ginawa ng Amerika, gi-invade nila ang isla sa Panama. Nagpadala sila ng mga sundalo, gibombahan ang Kapitolyo sa Panama just to arrest him. Yan. Para ma-extradite siya, mahatulan siya sa US courts. Na unstoppable ang supply ng cocaine, especially sa Colombia karon. Nako, it's very worse than doon kaysa sa dito. Of course, Mexico, the bridge between United States and South America, known to be the world's primary producer of marijuana. Guess sinong second producer ng marijuana sa buong mundo? Kita, Pilipinas, second largest producer of marijuana. Just second to Mexico. And a major transshipment point for drug syndicates. For example, drug syndicates gikan Japan or China. Dili na nila ibagsak ilang kargamento. And if they want to spread it down to Australia or to other ASEAN countries, dili sila manukad. The same goes for South or Latin American syndicates. Asa nila ibagsak ilang produkto after US? Pilipinas. Because in the Philippines, mas dali nila ma-distribute to Thailand, Vietnam, China, Hong Kong. Sulayo nila ang Malaysia, Indonesia. Yan. Pero sa Pilipinas, the most common na illegal drug na ginagamit is shabu. Also known as poor man's cocaine dahil mas less ang quality, of course, less ang presyo. Shabu. What is shabu in the scientific terms? It is methamphetamine hydrochloride. Yan, shabu. So, it's the most commonly abused drug sa Pilipinas. Okay? Next, India, mga Turko, known as the center of the world's drug map. Yan yan. Which also led to that nation having a rapid growth of drug abuse. Yan. Napakalawak ng drug abuse niyan. Sunod, Indonesia, yan, cannabis cultivation. Napakalawak ng mga plantation nila. Ika nga, they move in herds. Yan, sobrang lawak. Yung city of Bali sa Indonesia is not only known for being a tourist destination, but a key transit point from syndicates gikan sa China ug sa Pilipinas padulong sa Australia and New Zealand. Of course, China. Transit point for heroin from Golden Triangle countries papunta sa Hong Kong. Also, yung ephedra plant, which is the source of ephedrine, the primary chemical used for producing shabu, dyan kinukultivate ng malawakan. Din sa China, na mga Chingchong. Okay? Hong Kong, main transshipment point of all forms of heroin to the rest of Asia. Okay, Japan, sa Japan, dili kayo shabu, cocaine ni. Of course, mainly from US. And questions. Yan. Questions before ako mag-proceed. Okay. Miss Balaba, ang imong pangutana, if ever makadakop ta og mga tao from different country involved in drug trafficking under our custody or dito sila sa country nila hatulan? Sa atin. Sa atin yan. Of course, dito hinuli first. Sunod, of course, if their intentions is involving the interest of our nation, dito talaga yan. Dito na sila i-prosecute, diri na sila i-held for trial. Because first and foremost, introducing illegal drugs to our country is a violation of our law. So, dili na sila i-trial. Dili na sila pakulong. And it depends on our relations to their country kung pwede ba sila ma-extradite, or that is the term for extradition. If we have a treaty sa ilahang nasod, then that country can extradite or get their fellow men na accused of drugs dito na doon sila kukulong at ita-trial ulit. So yes, they would be under our law, under our custody. Yan. Mainly politics man na. Kung manggahi jud ang Pilipinas na sa atoa jud, bisan US pa na, hindi na ma-extradite sa Amerikano. So dito yan sila ma-held for trial. Okay? So next, let's talk about more specific organized crime groups. So first is the Colombian Medellin Cartel. Mao na. Pablo Escobar. His whole name was Pablo Escobar Gaviria. Yung apelyidong Gaviria sa Colombia is very powerful. Na siya igsuon or igagaw na judge, mga lawyers, mga negosyante. He found or he created Medellin Cartel in 1972 and become arguably the most famous and most violent cartels from Colombia. Because he is well known because na-penetrate niya ang US at Canada. And once makapenetrate ka sa US, pwede na ka mag-take over sa bisag asa. So, one of his power or the power of the Medellin cartel sa Colombia was having deep connections with the whole government. From the archdiocese, mga kaparian, hangtod sa mga abogado o mga local government officials, even mga senators nila, mga representatives, naa siya'y payroll sa ilaha. Even sa judiciary, even sa jury, and samot na sa military. Okay? So, how did the Medellin cartel and Pablo Escobar ended? It ended just a day after his 44th birthday in 1993. Siguro napuno na ang United States, ang CIA, they wanted to siguro get a hold or arrest Pablo Escobar and his henchmen. So, ginawa nila, tinrain nila yung mga malilinis na miyembro ng Colombian National Police. They called that unit the search block. Kasi ang trabaho nila is search and destroy kay Pablo Escobar o sa iyang mga miyembro. So, kinsay nag-training sa ilaha? Of course, US. They were trained by Delta Force. Yan, ng US Army. And it became so successful, they killed Pablo Escobar. Nisukol man. So, langan naman pabuhion pa na nimo. 'di ba? So, that's the end of Pablo Escobar. Next, Cali Cartel. Nawala na ang power ng Medellin. So, sumunod tong Cali. Around the same time, si Rodrigo ug si Gilberto pati si Miguel Orejuela were getting famous for being very rich and having a prime plantation pati production ng cocaine. Si Gilberto is known sa criminal underworld as Don Chepe or the chess master. Yan siya. Nga naman, calculated ang bawat lihok nila eh. Sa sobrang calculated or sa sobrang wais nila, ilang dekada silang namuno sa drug trade. To the point na responsable sila sa 90% ng cocaine supply ng mundo. Okay? Next. Next is the Carrillo Fuentes Organization. Based in Mexico ni siya. Kanang Cali o Medellin sa Colombia man na. So, this organization is a major drug trafficker using various planes. Ang style ani sa Carrillo Fuentes is that mupalit silang mga planes gikan sa Amerika. Buhato nila kanang mga eroplano na dako man na kanang mga passenger jets na capable molupad gikan Mexico o Colombia padulong og Amerika non-stop. Buhaton nila ibutang nila ang mga drugs sa sulod sa eroplano sa cargo compartment and then magpapanggap sila as a commercial cargo plane papuntang Amerika. Tatanungin ng American air controllers, anong dala nyo? So, ilang ingnon na cargo na mga products, mga herbal products. So, of course, at that time, nagdududa na ang Mexican at US authorities. Nganong karon ginagamit na nila ang mga eroplano sa pag-distribute sa droga sa US? Because they were so successful in renting multiple kinds of airplanes and also speedboats gikan Mexico padulong US or gikan Bahamas na di jud sila mapakgang jud sa Drug Enforcement Agency sa US. That made Amado Carrillo become known as the Lord of the Skies. Kasi para siyang drug lord na may sariling air force. Yan yun. And not only that, meron siyang mga contacts hindi lang sa gobyerno nila but also sa gobyerno ng US pati South America. But of course, just like any other drug lord, they were also killed. But sa kanya, kay Amado Carrillo, he died in a medical manner. Kasi plano niyang i-surgery or magkaroon ng facelift, facial surgery, para dili siya mailhan, para mag-change ang appearance. So yun, namatay siya. Then, automatically, ang iyang igsuon ang nag-take over. But sa early 2000s, napakgang na jud siya sa gobyerno sa Mexico o US. Okay? Next, ato ta diri sa China, the Chinese Triad. Actually, ang Chinese Triad is not one organization but a group of multiple societies na may Chinese descent. Or kanang mga ginikanan nila gikan China. American Chinese, Filipino Chinese, mga mainland Chinese, mga Chinese sa Hong Kong. Ang mga organizations nila, kung grupo na sila into one, is called the Black Society. Triad. Which also refers to those societies having common mystical symbols. Pinaka-common is yung equilateral triangle, which represents the concept of heaven, earth, and man. equal man na. So, yan. The Chinese triad. Diba? Triad, triangle, equilateral triangle, having the concept of heaven, earth, and man. It is considered the oldest and the biggest criminal organization sa ngayon. Na, to the point na control nila ang Golden Triangle, control pa jud nila ang Philippine drug trade. Okay? Questions? Questions? Walay pangutana? Basin ako'y mangutana. El Chapo. El Chapo, sige, isa-isa lang sa, tung Tunnel King, actually, nagsugod ka ng pag-use og tunnels gikan Mexico pa US kay Carillo Fuentes. Nagkaroon sila ng deal with a Colombian cartel, yung si Don Chepe. Diyan nagsimula sa kanila. Nagkaroon sila ng parang partnership. O sige, gamitin natin yung mga desert tunnels papuntang Texas. Ang main endpoint nila sa US was the city of El Paso. Mao na. So, diyan nagsimula yung pagkakaroon ng drug tunnels, land tunnels, papuntang US para di sila ma-detect sa striktong border patrol ng United States. Na. So, next, katong kay Jean, imong question, for famous current group na still nag-operate except sa China and katong triad nila, I'll show you that, kadali lang. Naman ko'y subject dire. Ay nako'y na-compile dire from another subject na mga famous organized crime groups na nag-ooperate with drugs as one of their main source of income. Okay? I-stop sana ako ng sharing. So, basically, yan lang yung ULOA according sa syllabus. Itong other terms, discuss na ako nagsayo, basin di ay nay magloko sa exam ninyo na. Hindi ko sinasabing ako, pero parang, parang, baka may magloko, i-apply lang ULOB. Sige, pabuton sana ako ning isa ka file dire. Na, just to answer the question of Miss Balaba. Katong kay Ranolo na i-answer pod nato ng question nimo. So, if there are any questions, i-chat, ay butang ninyo sa chat nako. You can ask any questions. Nabay pangutana or anything? Asa na yun? Yan. Si G nag-ask of other active na organizations. let's say sa Hong Kong na there is this three main gangs, all of them having majority of their income sa drugs and prostitution. First is Washing Wo or WSW. Yung leaders nila or yung leader nila, ang apo nila is known for its nickname si Shu Chai. Na naipronuncian Chai na Shu Chai means dragon head or yung leader or yung ulo ng kanilang organization. Na you can see the allies and rivals niyan. Na kalaban ni Washing Wo, isa sa mga karibal niya, yung 14K. This is the most famous triad from Hong Kong. Na founded in 1945 by a general na si Ko Chiu Wong. Na from Guangzhou, China gihapon. Langan Hong Kong, China ba na. Anyway, the second largest triad group in the world and the most famous from Hong Kong. 20,000 members, 30 subgroups around the world. Na so drug trafficking nila niabot na jud hangtod diri sa Pilipinas. That's a truth. Even their drug trade and arms smuggling, kanang pag-deal nila with the arms ng Abu Sayyaf was known. Yan. It's verified na ang Abu Sayyaf may connection sa 14K. Na, ang Abu Sayyaf would have weapons and arms, pati drugs to support their needs. In exchange, ang 14K would get protection and would be able to insert into the Philippines through illegal means yung mga kontrabando nila. And of course, last is yung Sunyeon. Na kalaban niya ang 14K pati ang Washing Wo. Chinese triad na still na manadira. Japan, Yakuza. Yakuza is also termed as Boryukudan. Good for nothing. Kanang Yakuza is not really a word but a combination of three numbers from the card game na Oitsukabo. 8, 9, and 3 or Yakuza. Which if you sum it up, it would be equal to 20. Which is a, kumbaga, maalas na numero sa dula sa Oitsukabo. So naadira ang mga characteristics ng members, daghan or puno og tato ang mga members. Na pero in public nagsusut and tie sila para matago ang tattoos nila. Na nay rituals nila. First is yubitsume. Kung nay isa ka member na sa first offense may ginawang mali, then the member must cut off the tip of his left little finger. Na putlon ang left little finger. Na and yung naputol na portion ibigay kay boss. Next, i-resume na sila ay full body hand poked or yung mga kanang pareho kay apo ang od na mga tao pero mas may color. Na ang needles nila are made up of sharpened steel or bamboo. Next, pearlings kana one pearl inserted sa skin ng penis or the scrotum of a member for every year na nasa prisuhan. Na so imagine na lang kung 20 ka tuig siya sa prisuhan. Sunod, Oitsukabo, yan yung card game na during the time they play Oitsukabo, maghuhubad lahat ng miyembro. As in naked, babae or lalaki. Para maipakita yung tattoos nila. Then of course, yung sake sharing. Used to seal bonds of brotherhood. Yan, o yabon kubon. Okay? Then the families of Yakuza, andyan yan. Na Yamaguchi Gomi, Sumiyoshi Rengo, Inigawa Kai, Tona Iwai, Jigyo Kumiyai. Napanay isa ka family, I haven't take note of it. There are different organized criminal groups operating with drugs as their main source of income. Napakarami. So active na organized crime groups na Kiandal Emenings Karups. I don't know if this still exists. Na di man ta kayo familiar sa Korea na ato na hibawan YG lang man, JYP, sa pa SM. Kung kailan mo ana nako, delikado. Okay? Does that answer your question? Na sa Thailand, sa Philippines, of course, proudly Filipino, nationalistic tayo, may patriotism tayo sa ating mga terorista at kriminal. Na Francisco Group, that's the real name of what is formerly known yung Kuratong Baleleng or yung Dragon Group. Na so next is Pentagon Group, mainly kidnap for ransom, carnapping, still drugs. Na they were members ng MILF. Na ang purpose ng Pentagon Group was to generate bigger and additional income para sa MILF. Na para mapawalang sala yung mga miyembro nilang nahuli. Na Lost Command kani, composed of ex-military and policemen na nawalan ng trabaho after the 1986 EDSA Revolution. Kanilang paborito is kidnap for ransom, pati drug trade. Ngayon ang Lost Command wala na, patay na to lahat halos or nagretiro na. Na bahala na gang na kamwat me na common sa ilaha na sila ay question mark na tattoo. Sila ang isa sa mga main drug groups sulod sa Bilibid sa una pa na. Ngayon, konti na lang ang miyembro ng bahala na gang kasi ang namumuno yung dating pinamunuan ni JB Sebastian, yung Sige-Sige Sputnik. It's the largest gang sa Philippines. Most of them are still inside the prison, nasa Bilibid. Ang Akyat Bahay, Akyat Bahay gang is also known as home invasion gang. Na Namkam gang, Europe na. Were you already knowledgeable of mafia? Dili itong PhilHealth ha, nako. Wag yang PhilHealth. Mafia originated in Sicily, pati Sigonella sa Italy. Sicilian Mafia or the Cosa Nostra, Italian for Honored Society. Mafia is actually an acronym of Morta alla Francia Italia Anelia. Na Death to France is Italy's cry. Mao na mafia. Kanang nagaingon anas public di nakasabot asa jud na nagikan ng mafia. Only in criminology lang yan. Of course, they have this code of omerta, code of silence. Kailangan pa nilang mamatay or kailangan nilang mamatay or hindi na kailangan nilang magsalita. Okay? Questions. Pangutana mga guys. Does that satisfy your answer? Does that answer your question? Wala pa da itong El Chapo, no? Na Russian Mafia, Colombian Medellin Cartel. Sinaloa Cartel po yan, Mr. Ranolo. Na dire. Sinaloa Cartel or the Guzman Loera Organization. Based in Mexico. It is the most powerful at that time, mid-80s. Kasama nung Medellin. Pero this one is based in Mexico. Led by Joaquin Guzman Loera. Si El Chapo. Okay? Pangutana, wala na? Okay, so I still have 5 minutes. If you have any question sa may chika nato dira, nabay machika ninyo dira, mga saman. Wala na yung machika dira, 5 minutes na lang. Na manghatag og file. Tung sa drugs lang na naman ko'y additional dire. Yan lang. Manghatag man jud ko, may bayad na singlon man ta mo pag human aning tanan na 5 kada file na. Anyway, I will still give it to you yung files. Just give me enough time kay daghan mo. Ambot lang anong giludan ko daghan ron. Lagot ko ani mga tigulang ani. Di man ta papawayon. Anyway, still searching for an additional wala jud ng sana all niya man giapoy ako PhilHealth pa nato na GS pa nato ya, nag SSS pa gyud bag-o diba niyang PhilHealth nato saon man na. Let's go with the terms na lang. Other terms, na-discuss na bang other terms? Drug addiction, drug experimenter, sindikato, instrument. Na, kani? Asa na yan? Kani? Last. I still have 4 minutes lang to. Hindi iyan. Anyway, send ko na lang tong PPTs sa inyo. Don't worry, I've sent the others already. I-check nyo sa LMS. Kaning uban would be sent siguro kung dili ni mula pa sa capacity sa LMS naman ni data cap good. Tulisod na. Na. Wa man gayt ta swelduhan si UM naging ani-ani pa ta. Anyway, so are there any questions? Kay kung wala mo'y pangutana, ako'y mangutana. Oh, kung giingon ako, ako'y mangutana, nag-left na ang uban. Nabi, muiwas gyud. I have a question for wag na lang, ilagay ko na lang, i-assignment ko na lang. Nako, assignment ko na lang to. Sige, so just update your LMS. Friday is your exam, first exam. Ang procedures ninyo, just send a picture sa inyong exam permit or sa unsa ba ng recognized receipt dito sa exam na section, exam permit na section sa LMS. So, isend lang na ninyo, dapat maklaro ang pangalan, and then ayaw i-hide ng payment kay we need to trace that na di man paliba good. Sunod, your exam will be open from 12 a.m. ng September 4 hanggang 23:59. That's 11:59 ng gabi at the same date. So, halos 24 hours yan. 24 hours. Yan ang validity. So, within that period, pwede kayo mag-take ng exam. Once you open the exam, you have 1 hour to complete it. You have 1 hour to complete it. 50 items na, MCQ lang man. May problema sa exam. Ang coverage, na-discuss na nato kung naay madungag. Nako. That's why there are additional materials sent sa inyo, ha? Okay? Nanay pangutana. Kung wala ang signal, di man ko ka buhat og signal good. Ani na. I will give you multiple chances during the day. Pero ang memo sa mo or ang sugo as of now sa mo 24-hour validity lang ang exam. Of course, kung ang exam mo balik within the day, you can still take the exam. SSS. Sana SSS. SSS na ako. GS man ko. Lai po tong Golden State. Sana ang SSS. Ah, kung ang inyong bayad o inyong pagbayad sa exam is through SSS. Walay UN na resibo. Mao ba na imong pasabot, Miss Jez? Mao ba na imong pasabot? 50 items lang ang exam. Total, 50 lang. Yes, sa may ato.
Kasi baka lang,
SSS, sige, okay lang. Ibutang lang ng sana, basta na pangalan. Butang lang, basta na pangalan o na ay proof of payment.
hindi online mo po kayo.
Walay. Anong wala?
Kasi kasi, wala ka makuha.
Wa pa makuha. Up to Monday akong gi-allow na submission. Up to Monday. Okay? So, okay lang. Kung namoy concern with regard sa pagbayad, i-message lang sa ako. Ayoko tawagi ang naman na yun sa SIM ka ng numero na ako. Burit na eh. Burit na. Manghatag ba day kog number na ako. Sige lang, you can do it sa messenger kung namoy additional concerns. Basta ay magtuan ng number ana, di mo tubago na ISIS na ISIS. Sige. So, this message or this lecture was recorded. You can review it anytime before the first exam. BB Collab. Mag-BB pa ugma. Na ako'y BB, oo. Pero collab, sabuton pa nato na BB time man gud ugma. Wednesday. Bebe time na. Bebe time. Mana. Di man na maon sa masuko pa siguro to. BB Collab. Ako. Anyway, so sige. That is all for today. Napay magluto daw. So, thank you. And you can view this again sa LMS. That is all for today. Goodbye sa inyo ha. And stay safe mga kaibigan.